Why was Queen Camilla furious when she saw Princess Catherine wearing one of the late Queen Elizabeth's most iconic tiaras? Was it about royal tradition, personal rivalry, or something much deeper? The truth behind this royal drama goes far beyond jewelry. This isn't just about diamonds and pearls, it's about legacy, power, and lingering shadows from the past. Stay tuned as we uncover the untold story behind the lover's knot tiara and why its appearance on Catherine's head sparks such controversy. The symbolism of royal tiaras. Tiaras have always been more than just glittering headpieces in the royal family. They represent power, status, and deep-rooted traditions that stretch back centuries. To the public, they might seem like luxurious accessories worn for pomp and ceremony, but within the royal household, each tiara holds a story. A legacy passed down through generations. From coronations to weddings, state banquets to official portraits, the appearance of a tiara signals more than celebration. It signifies one's standing within the monarchy. For centuries, the gifting or wearing of a tiara has symbolized a rite of passage, a mark of elevation within the royal hierarchy. Traditionally, royal women don't wear tiaras until they are married, emphasizing the transition from commoner to royal, or from princess to queen consort. But the choice of which tiara a royal woman wears speaks volumes about her position, influence, and sometimes the quiet tensions simmering behind palace doors. And few tiaras have stirred more drama than the lover's knot. Originally commissioned by Queen Mary in the late 1800s, the lover's knot tiara has become one of the most iconic pieces in the royal collection. But it's not just the dazzling diamonds or the perfectly symmetrical pearls that make it stand out. It's the history attached to it, the women who wore it, and the silent messages it seems to carry with every appearance. When Queen Elizabeth II passed away in September 2022, the distribution of her extensive jewelry collection became a topic of great interest. Who would inherit the most prized tiaras? As the new queen consort, Camilla had the first pick, followed by the Princess of Wales, Catherine, and when Catherine was seen wearing the lover's knot at a state banquet just months after the Queen's passing, it wasn't just a fashion statement. It was a declaration, one that, according to insiders, didn't sit well with Camilla. The history of the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. Among the many glittering pieces in the royal collection, the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara holds a special place. It's not just because of its striking design, but because of the sentimental value it carried for Queen Elizabeth II. This tiara was one of her favorites, often seen atop her head in official portraits, on banknotes, and even on stamps throughout her reign. The story of this tiara begins in the late 19th century. In 1893, as Princess Mary of Teck prepared to marry the future King George V, a committee of young women from across Britain and Ireland came together to gift her something truly special. Led by Lady Eva Greville, a close friend of Mary, they raised funds to purchase a tiara that would symbolize the unity and admiration of the women of the realm. The committee raised approximately £5,000, a significant sum at the time, and commissioned Gerard, the crown jeweler, to create a tiara that was both elegant and adaptable. The result was a stunning piece, made of diamonds, set in silver and gold, designed in a festoon and scroll pattern. But what made it truly unique was its versatility. It could be worn as a tiara or transformed into a necklace, a feature Princess Mary greatly appreciated. In her thank you letter to Lady Eva, Mary expressed her deep gratitude, calling it one of my most valued wedding presents. She wore it frequently, solidifying its place in the royal jewelry collection. When Mary passed away, the tiara was inherited by her granddaughter, Princess Elizabeth. It became one of the young queen's most cherished pieces, often referred to as Granny's tiara. Queen Elizabeth wore the tiara for her first official portrait as monarch, taken just days after her accession in 1952. It was more than just an accessory. It was a symbol of continuity, resilience, and the weight of the crown she had inherited. Throughout her reign, the tiara appeared in countless photographs, always representing her steadfast presence. When Queen Elizabeth passed away, the tiara naturally went to Camilla, the new queen consort. It was seen as an obvious choice, given Camilla's elevated status. But while Camilla proudly wore the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, it was another tiara, the lover's knot, that would spark controversy and reveal underlying tensions within the royal household. The most wanted, the lover's knot tiara. The lover's knot tiara is more than just a glittering masterpiece. It's a symbol of power, legacy, and, as it turns out, rivalry. Commissioned by Queen Mary in the early 1900s, this iconic headpiece was designed to reflect her love for history and grandeur. Inspired by a tiara owned by her grandmother, the Duchess of Cambridge, it features rows of brilliant cut diamonds and dangling pearls, all set in platinum. But its beauty is only part of the story.
Queen Mary was known for her obsession with jewels, often redesigning and repurposing pieces to suit her taste. The lover's knot was no exception. Created by Gerard in 1914, the tiara quickly became one of her favorites. Its romantic, bow-shaped design, known as lover's knots, gave it a sentimental touch, while the pearl drops added an air of elegance. But despite its striking appearance, the tiara remained largely out of the public eye after Queen Mary's death, until it was passed down to Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Elizabeth, though fond of the tiara, found it heavy and uncomfortable. It was rarely seen in public until she decided to loan it to her daughter-in-law, Diana, Princess of Wales, as a wedding gift in 1981. And that's when the tiara truly became famous. Diana wore it frequently, pairing it with her most glamorous gowns and dazzling the world during state banquets and royal tours. The sight of the tiara became synonymous with Diana's radiant charm and her turbulent marriage to Prince Charles. After Diana's tragic passing in 1997, the tiara returned to the royal vault. For years, it remained unworn, almost as though it were too closely tied to Diana's memory. But that changed when Queen Elizabeth loaned it to Catherine, the new Princess of Wales, after her marriage to Prince William in 2011. Catherine wore it with grace, rekindling the tiara's iconic status and, unintentionally, reopening old wounds. While the tiara's beauty is undeniable, its history is steeped in emotion. To Camilla, seeing Catherine wear the lover's knot wasn't just about jewelry, it was a reminder of the past, of Diana's influence, and of a legacy she could never fully claim. And when Catherine appeared at the November 2022 state banquet wearing the tiara, it was clear that this was more than just a fashion choice, it was a statement. Princess Diana's emotional connection. For many, the lover's knot tiara is inseparable from the image of Princess Diana. It was more than an accessory, it was part of her public identity, a symbol of both her glamour and the struggle she faced behind palace walls. When Queen Elizabeth II gifted the tiara to Diana on her wedding day in July 1981, it was meant as a gesture of welcome into the royal family. But as history would reveal, Diana's journey within the monarchy was anything but smooth. Diana famously wore the tiara on countless occasions, from glittering state banquets to official portraits. The sight of her with the lover's knot's pearls gently swaying as she moved became iconic. But the tiara, like much of her life, had a complicated side. Reports often mentioned how Diana found the piece physically uncomfortable. The weight of the diamonds and pearls often gave her headaches. Yet she continued to wear it, understanding the significance it held in the eyes of the public and the monarchy. To Diana, the tiara became more than just royal regalia. It was a reminder of her position, both celebrated and scrutinized within the royal family. The lover's knot appeared during some of her most photographed moments, including the 1985 state visit to the United States, where she famously danced with John Travolta at the White House. It was during these moments that the tiara seemed less like an accessory and more like a crown of resilience. However, after her separation from Charles in 1992 and their subsequent divorce in 1996, Diana returned most of the royal jewelry, including the tiara. When she tragically passed away in 1997, the lover's knot returned to the royal vault, untouched and unworn, as though in mourning. For years, the tiara remained out of sight, a relic of a bygone era. It wasn't until Catherine, the new Princess of Wales, began wearing it that the tiara once again stepped into the spotlight. But with its reappearance came echoes of the past and, reportedly, Camilla's discontent. To some, Catherine wearing the lover's knot symbolized continuity, a respectful nod to Diana's legacy. To others, particularly those within the royal household, it may have felt like history repeating itself, and not everyone was pleased. Queen Elizabeth's passing and the jewelry divide. The passing of Queen Elizabeth II in September 2022 marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new chapter for the royal family. Beyond the transition of power from mother to son, another silent but significant shift took place: the division of her vast and priceless jewelry collection. As the longest reigning monarch in British history, Elizabeth had amassed an extraordinary array of tiaras, necklaces, and brooches, each carrying a story of heritage and royalty. Traditionally, the distribution of royal jewelry follows an unspoken hierarchy. The new queen consort, in this case Camilla, was given first choice. This was not merely a gesture of favoritism, but rather an acknowledgement of her elevated role within the monarchy. Following her selections, the next in line for the most significant pieces was the Princess of Wales, Catherine. While Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, was also expected to receive some pieces, her distance from the inner circle of royal duties meant she was further down the pecking order. Among the tiaras up for distribution, the lover's knot stood out not just for its value, but for its historical and emotional significance. To many, it was the Diana tiara, a symbol of the late princess's enduring influence. When the time came for its reassignment, Queen Elizabeth's decision was clear: it would go to Catherine, the new Princess of Wales. This choice seemed logical, considering Catherine's position and her role as the wife of the heir to the throne, but logic, it seems, did little to soften the emotional blow for Camilla. Reports from royal insiders suggest that Camilla had her eye on the lover's knot, not necessarily for its beauty, but for what it represented. Inheriting the tiara would have been, in her eyes, a final step in distancing herself from the shadow of Diana. Instead, seeing it placed on Catherine's head only reinforced the enduring legacy of the woman who had once been her greatest rival. Catherine's appearance at the November 2022 state banquet, adorned with the lover's knot, was more than just a fashion statement. It was a declaration, a silent reminder that, despite the passage of time, Diana's presence within the royal family remained strong. And for Camilla, it was a bitter pill to swallow, one that reignited old tensions and fueled new controversy. At Camilla's fury, what sparked the controversy? The sight of Catherine wearing the lover's knot tiara at the state banquet in November 2022 was, to many observers, nothing short of breathtaking. The tiara sparkled under the grand chandeliers of Buckingham Palace, perfectly complementing Catherine's regal ensemble. But behind the scenes, the reaction was far less celebratory, especially from Camilla, the new queen consort. According to palace insiders, Camilla's frustration was not solely about jewelry, it was about symbolism. The lover's knot was, for decades, associated with Princess Diana, the woman whose shadow had loomed over Camilla's relationship with Charles for years. While Camilla had worked tirelessly to reshape her public image, seeing Catherine, young, glamorous, and popular, wearing Diana's signature tiara felt like history repeating itself. What made matters worse was the fact that Camilla, as queen consort, had expected the opportunity to claim the tiara herself. Though the girls of Great Britain and Ireland's tiara was now hers, a piece equally historic and significant, it lacked the emotional power of the lover's knot. To Camilla, wearing that tiara would have symbolized her complete transformation from the other woman to the undisputed queen of the realm. But the royal hierarchy prevailed. Queen Elizabeth's decision to assign the lover's knot to Catherine was final, and it spoke volumes about the late queen's vision for the future of the monarchy. Catherine was not just the wife of the future king, she was the embodiment of continuity, grace, and modern royalty. In the eyes of the public, and perhaps more painfully in Camilla's eyes, Catherine had inherited not just Diana's tiara, but also her role as the people's princess. The controversy didn't stop at the palace gates. Media outlets quickly picked up on the story, with headlines speculating about a renewed rift between Catherine and Camilla. Social media buzzed with commentary, some praising Catherine's elegance, others criticizing what they saw as an insensitive choice. Camilla, ever composed in public, made no official comment, but those close to her reportedly saw a clear shift in her demeanor following the banquet. Ultimately, the tiara was more than an accessory, it was a statement of power and legacy. And for Camilla, it was a stark reminder that despite her title, some battles within the royal family could never truly be won. Royal protocol and tiara rules. Beyond the glittering facade of royal tiaras lies a complex web of traditions and protocols. Unlike ordinary jewelry, tiaras in the British royal family are governed by strict, often unspoken rules. Rules that dictate who can wear them, when they can be worn, and how they are passed down through generations. Understanding these protocols sheds light on why the appearance of the lover's knot on Catherine's head sparked such controversy. One of the most significant rules surrounding tiaras is that they are traditionally reserved for married women. This custom dates back centuries, symbolizing a woman's transition from maidenhood to marriage. It's why royal brides, including Catherine and Meghan Markle, famously wore tiaras for the first time on their wedding days. Unmarried princesses, no matter how high their rank, typically do not wear tiaras. Ownership is another complex matter. Contrary to popular belief, most royal tiaras are not personally owned but are considered part of the royal collection. They are often loaned by the reigning monarch to royal women for the duration of their lives. Once a royal woman passes away or steps back from duties, the tiara returns to the royal vault, unless specifically bequeathed in a will. The assignment of tiaras also follows a hierarchy. The queen consort, as the highest ranking female royal after the monarch, traditionally has first choice. Next in line is the Princess of Wales, followed by other senior royal women. This hierarchy explains why Camilla expected priority access to the lover's knot and why Catherine's possession of it was seen as an assertion of status. Timing and occasion further dictate when tiaras can be worn. They are typically reserved for evening events, state banquets, galas, and formal receptions. Daytime appearances, no matter how grand, rarely call for tiaras. Additionally, tiaras are almost never worn outside the United Kingdom without express permission from the monarch. This rule ensures that these historic pieces remain under royal protection. For Camilla, understanding the rules didn't make the situation easier. While tradition favored her as queen consort, Queen Elizabeth's personal decision to pass the lover's knot to Catherine underscored the complexity of royal protocol. It wasn't just about rank, it was about legacy, loyalty, and the future image of the monarchy. The public's reaction and media frenzy. The moment Catherine stepped into the grand banquet hall wearing the lover's knot tiara, the cameras flashed, and the headlines practically wrote themselves. Within hours, social media platforms buzzed with opinions, theories, and, inevitably, controversy. What seemed like a simple fashion choice to some was interpreted by others as a deliberate statement, one that reignited the complex narrative surrounding the British royal family. Royal watchers were quick to draw comparisons between Catherine and Diana. Side-by-side images circulated online, showing both women wearing the iconic tiara, their expressions poised yet subtly different. To many, Catherine's appearance symbolized continuity, a respectful nod to Diana's legacy while affirming her own place within the royal hierarchy. For supporters of Catherine, it was a moment of triumph, a clear indication that she had not only inherited Diana's title, but also the grace and influence that came with it. But not everyone saw it that way. Critics argued that wearing the tiara so soon after Queen Elizabeth's passing, and more importantly, after Camilla's ascension as queen consort, was tactless. Some speculated that the choice was intentional, a subtle power move within the palace walls. The tabloids ran with the story, with headlines like Catherine's crowned victory and Camilla's silent rage dominating front pages. Social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram became battlegrounds for royal enthusiasts. Hashtags like Tiaragate and Lovers Not Drama trended for days. Supporters of Camilla voiced frustration, arguing that as queen consort, she deserved the honor of wearing such an iconic piece. Others defended Catherine, asserting that the tiara's history with Diana made it a natural fit for the new Princess of Wales. Even royal commentators weighed in. Veteran royal correspondent Katie Nicholl noted, "This isn't just about jewelry, it's about legacy and perception." Catherine wearing the lover's knot sends a message about continuity, while Camilla's absence from that narrative speaks volumes. While the palace remained officially silent, the public reaction was anything but quiet. The tiara had done more than adorn Catherine's head. It had reignited a conversation about power, legacy, and the ever-evolving dynamics within the House of Windsor. The power struggle behind the scenes. Behind the grandeur of tiaras and royal banquets lies an intricate web of power dynamics. The British royal family, while presenting a united front, is no stranger to internal tensions, and the lover's knot tiara became an unexpected symbol of these struggles. What seemed like a mere fashion choice on Catherine's part was, to those within palace walls, a subtle yet undeniable assertion of influence. According to insiders, the decision to loan the lover's knot to Catherine was not made lightly. Queen Elizabeth II, known for her meticulous attention to symbolism, saw Catherine as the future face of the monarchy, graceful, approachable, and firmly rooted in royal tradition. By passing the tiara to her, the Queen was effectively endorsing Catherine as the rightful bearer of the modern monarchy's image. Camilla, despite her elevated status as queen consort, reportedly viewed this decision as a slight. For years, she had fought to shed the image of the other woman and establish herself as a respected senior royal. Wearing the lover's knot, a piece so closely associated with Diana, would have symbolized her ultimate acceptance within the family. Instead, seeing Catherine wear it reinforced the notion that despite her title, Camilla would always be viewed as an outsider in certain royal circles. Palisades have hinted that private discussions surrounding the tiara were tense. While official protocols were followed, with the tiara being passed to the Princess of Wales, the emotional undercurrent was undeniable. Some sources suggested that Charles himself was caught between the two women, understanding Camilla's frustration, but ultimately respecting his mother's wishes. The power struggle extended beyond the tiara itself. It was about visibility, influence, and the unspoken competition for public favor. While Camilla held the title of queen consort, Catherine had quietly assumed the role of the people's princess, a position once held by Diana and now symbolically reinforced by the tiara. The future of the royal tiaras. As the monarchy evolves, so too does the fate of its most treasured possessions. The lover's knot tiara, now firmly associated with Catherine, has become more than just a relic of the past. It represents the future of the British royal family. But what lies ahead for this iconic piece? And how might its journey reflect the ever-changing dynamics within the House of Windsor? Traditionally, tiaras remain in the royal vault, loaned out at the discretion of the reigning monarch. Queen Elizabeth II's decision to pass the lover's knot to Catherine was significant, as it signaled a clear line of succession not just in titles, but in symbolism. As Catherine continues to step into her future role as queen, the tiara will likely remain her signature piece, a constant reminder of continuity and heritage. However, questions remain about what will happen when the crown eventually passes to Prince William. Will the lover's knot continue to be associated with Catherine, or will it be reassigned once their daughter, Princess Charlotte, comes of age? Royal tradition suggests that Charlotte may inherit the tiara when she reaches adulthood, continuing its legacy within the direct line of succession. Camilla's role in this narrative remains complex. While she currently enjoys access to many of the Queen's former jewels, the lover's knot, despite its historical significance, is unlikely to ever be hers. This reality underscores the evolving power dynamics within the royal family, where titles and jewels are not just symbols of status, but indicators of influence and acceptance. In the years to come, the tiara will undoubtedly continue to make appearances at state banquets, official portraits, and possibly even royal weddings. Each sighting will reignite conversations about legacy, loyalty, and the unspoken competition that continues to shape the House of Windsor. And for those who understand the deeper meaning behind the diamonds and pearls, the lover's knot will remain not just a piece of jewelry, but a testament to the enduring power of royal symbolism.